beginning here on Cloud Kingdom. To the northeast position, in the blue trunks, playing Zerg, we have Azubu's viOLet versus his opponent to the southwest, the GSL Codes round of 4 contestant, who we'll be seeing playing later on in this tournament in that very event. Also known as Bogus, he is ex-STX INnoVation.
That's right, INnoVation has been, or not right now, but has been, or was, #1 Grandmaster in Korea for a long time. And then when everyone was like, oh, so Bogus is INnoVation, oh, wait a minute, it was that guy that's been #1. Yeah, that's right. He's a dominating player already.
I smell shenanigans are on the way.
Double 11 barracks here, straight away by INnoVation. viOLet, is he going to drone scouts? In map #1, you don't really see 2 barracks often in map 1, and the answer is yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Really smart.
Does he find it, though?
Well, he's got Overlords moving in both positions. He's going to spot this pretty quickly, I think. Yeah, the drone's going to actually pass right by it unless he changes it right now. So he was well aware that this was a possibility. No doubt he has been looking at this. As soon as he found out his bracket, it's like, oh, Bogus is in my bracket. Yeah, I might want to check him out. And viOLet seems aware of it. The question is, being aware of it is only part of the battle. You still have to be able to actually stop it.
Yeah, and I think this is a time where you cancel or not even cancel, but don't go for the second barracks, just go for a 1 barracks command center. And he's actually is going to build a second barracks, but he's back at home.
Yep.
Because he realized that this one may not even get completed.
Yep, that's the SCV down.
MG.
Oh, that was shut down pretty quickly, wasn't it?
No orbital. Late barracks back at home. Ugh.
Well, not a great start there for Bogus, unfortunately.
Yeah, really good start for viOLet, though.
Yeah, he must be grinning to himself about that one, certainly, that he managed to shut it down. And honestly, it's not unexpected to see 2 racks come straight out from a player like this. It always smells to me like very Brood War-ish play, that it'll just be this ridiculously aggressive start, saying, you know what, I'm just too good, I can start this way and finish you off nice and quickly.
6 slings are being built, and they're going to be actually very dangerous. They're obviously going to clean up the SCV and then the extra barracks, which should be cancelled soon, so we can build a command center.
Yep.
And, well, things not looking too good here. Imagine if, you know, INnoVation had just gone command center first, he would have already had that finished by now. Would have had a Marine protecting it as well. And now he's really, really far behind. The cancel will come down so we can afford a command center, which he does build inside the main base, but a really, really strong start here for Azubu viOLet against, you know, a top 4 GSL player right now.
It's a good start, it really, really is. And it's very odd, as I pointed out earlier, to see the GSL round of 4 guys in this tournament as well. As far as I'm aware, they're all playing. Every one of them. I know Ryung's playing.
Yeah, I mean,
Sniper's playing as well. Sniper's actually down at the lower bracket already, if I recall correctly. So all of them are playing here. And this weird dynamic comes into play where you say, do I really want to show, what do I want to show of my builds? Do I want to try and keep things hidden for the GSL? Do I want to just go all out and try and win both? And I'm interested to see the different mindsets going on here.
Well, INnoVation going 2 racks, that hides a lot of what he would have or could have used. And now this game becomes invalid for anybody wanting a study, because obviously he's playing from behind, he's not using his usual strategies.
Yeah.
This game would be a write-off if any player was, or Hyun, for example, was trying to watch this. This game's gone and out there. But at the end of the day, I guess you could pick up the, 2 ranks is possible, but that's possible from every Terrence. It's not really too much detail to pick up on.
No.
But we do have the extra queens on the way, or the extra queen, should I say, as well as the gas is coming down for viOLet. This is quite standard. Just 3 queens into double evolution chamber of the 3rd expansion, very shortly here.
Yep, that will be up momentarily, as you can see. But next couple of minutes, wouldn't expect too much aggression until these Hellions start to pop out here. A little bit of a cleanup on the 3rd base from INnoVation, picks up a couple of lings. Still no speed on that, doesn't feel like he needs it. And at the moment he would, for the most part, be right. But until these Hellions come out, that's when things are going to start to get a little bit dicey. The question is, how many does he do? Starpot's coming straight down. So what we're likely to see here, especially with the double refinery, would be the Hellion Banshee play, possibly with Cloak.
Yep, that's right. And he has an option to go Cloak, he has an option to not get it and then upgrade faster. For example, 1-1 on an engineering bay, or 2 engineering bays and double armory, or depending on what he wants, of course. But the creep spread is pretty good. Very shortly we'll see the evolution chambers come down to probably wall off against the inevitable Hellions here, as the confirmation is down for viOLet seeing the expansion. So he knows this game's kind of going on its way.
Now, I would think that he might expect this as a follow-up, and with the double evolution chambers going down in the wall off, I'd successfully say that yes, that's exactly what he's expecting as a follow-up here. That he might not be expecting.
That's a fake out for the Overlord, so Overlord is there, and he cancels it.
Yep.
So he's not going to get cloak. Probably means he's going to get a double engineering bay or double armory down pretty fast.
Yeah.
Depending on, if he wants to play mech or not. But I like the Viking. Viking's always very good in this position, in any position. Snipes quite a few Overlords.
It's a really good investment, honestly. Just getting rid of that kind of map control and even forcing more Overlords out for your opponent just for the cost of one Viking is really good.
Alright, so third command center coming down for INnoVation. No upgrades yet. As we can see, he's got 300 gas in the bank. He's got a tech lab coming down, a new one. And that's going to be over to the factory, or whatever he wants to throw on top. The Hellions trying to look for a way in. 43 drones to 38 SCVs, so it's okay right now for viOLet.
Yeah, viOLet currently putting down one spore crawler in each of those bases. Doesn't actually need it, of course. As you said, it was a fake out. It looked like it was going to be Banshee. It was not, and viOLet's pretty much convinced that it was Cloak Banshee. But at the moment, it's just this Viking moving around. I think as soon as he sees that Viking, he probably has already seen it. I'm pretty sure it's already picked off an Overlord. Yeah, it has with one kill. So he's probably saying, "Oh, there's a Viking out now. Well, I'm not expecting to see Banshee anymore."
Yeah, that's right. And with 1-1 on the way now for INnoVation, he's confirmed that he will be playing Bio this game, or Bio Tank, should I say, instead of Mech. And the game's going to continue on. This is where viOLet's going to be comfortable to drone up, because he has a few Lings out now to protect his third, Queens as well. May want maybe a handful, a couple of Lings, but he should be droning at this stage to get ready to take the gases there, as he wants the Infestation Pit down, of course, Pathogen Glands as well. But INnoVation's going to be on his fingertips right now, trying to get rid of this creep, trying to look for angles to get in to do damage to the drone line.
Yep, and he's doing a good job of denying creep thus far while taking minimal damage there from the Queens. Pushes back yet another one. A few Lings over to the side right here, just to keep an eye out for the hop over for the third base. The command center's been built there, could go there in the next few minutes if he feels secure enough to do so. 1-1's about to kick in here for viOLet, and the swell of Zerglings completed around the same time. Going for Baneling speed and a few Banelings to start off. So he's got potential here for both aggression and some excellent defensive possibilities, especially on creep. His spread is not that great at the moment, but he does have his natural connected to his third, and he's actually got a good buffer zone down this ramp here towards the fourth as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous from viOLet that we don't have creep below his third, because if any pushes are going to come from INnoVation, that's where they're going to be. So he does want to get creep spread there eventually, but for now he's got all the upgrades coming in, Burrow as well, so we could be seeing some borrowed Banelings in this game. They also will be used for the Infestors naturally too, but right now, as we're about to see INnoVation take his third, he's got enough units to hold on to his third quite easily with the tank there too, which will have siege tech very shortly. And with his third taken, of course, he will want to go into 2-2 with his fast double engineering bays that were down. We do have a bunch of Hellions at the top, which are going to get surrounded, but there is a drop on the natural too, so double attack.
Yep, just keeping an eye on that drop. It hasn't actually moved yet, so...
Oh, it's a Viking.
Yeah, it's a Viking. I was going to say, really? But, I don't know, there might be the pilot of the Viking might really want to get in there, but I don't think it's going to do all that much. So it was pretty well shut down there by viOLet. Didn't take too much damage, honestly. To be fair, it's been a really passive game up to this point. viOLet's lost a lot of Lings up to this point, a lot of minerals, but that doesn't really make too much of a difference, especially with the fourth base down here. And his opponent's just lost couple of Marines as well as some Hellions.
Yeah,
and
those Hellions are a bit sad though, dying.
Yeah,
he's got nothing to stop creep now.
Yeah,
which he was doing before, and now the creep is starting to extend in the right angles. So this is still pretty good for viOLet, as you said, very very passive. viOLet still with a lead, which he's had from the early stages with the fast fourth and so on, but INnoVation's not playing from too far behind. No,
I mean, we've got 83 drones here for viOLet. He's going to go for the run by here and do a little bit of damage. He could have actually got in there and maybe forced a couple of tank shells off, but losing that many Lings for potentially not many SCVs at all might not be worthwhile, especially not with a large swell of units coming out here from INnoVation, who the question is, when does he look? It looks like he's going to be going for that very standard 2-2-1 timing by the looks of it, and he'll push forward at that point, and the drop has already begun for that, so We'll see if he can do any damage with that. Creep spread is looking really solid now around the 4th base, so I don't know where he'll be able to go, but actually, Overlord spread is non-existent up to the top of the map. Yeah. So that Viking has done its job.
That Viking's done its job indeed, so this is the time where he can move up, but viOLet sends a bunch of links to the 3rd, which get pushed back. Marines are going to kill these queens as well, so INnoVation's starting to make waves in this game.
Yep.
Can obviously opt to hit a timer with these upgrades, or can take a 4th base. 2 are open right now. But that drop, as you mentioned, untouched.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was a uh-oh.
Yeah, we got a bit of a freeze going on here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We may have been disconnected from the game or something.
I don't think so. I mean, we got the audio going. Let me see if I can get this going again.
I don't know. Is it... what's crashed? The audio isn't. The game's still going, but...
The video's frozen.
Well...
that is unfortunate.
Well, this is very unfortunate because the game... well, at least the game continues for the players, but for us...
that makes it fairly difficult to cast, honestly.
It actually makes it impossible.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a big problem indeed. We don't know what's happened there. Let me... there are a couple of other tricks that might work.
We may be kicked out soon. Oh, wait. We're back in. We're back in.
I am so good at this PC thing, you have no idea.
But we just lost. Are we back in camera? Like, in a game?
Behold.
All right, we're back in. And there's a drop in the main. There's an army bit cleaned up.
Right, well, let's play catch-up then, shall we? So what the hell happened in the meantime?
So that drop finally got there.
I did a decent amount of damage. Some workers killed. This one got shut down. viOLet managed to crush the attack using infestors. And this has done some damage, and that was something that just died. It looks like the spawning pool was killed, so it was very much a tech snipe. Another spawning pool gets picked up here as well. Ultralisks are on the way, but the link support is actually fairly reduced as a result of losing the spawning pool. The Ultralisk is in a safe location. This drop was cleaned up here, and I think that pretty much about covers it.
Yeah, almost, I guess. Yeah, maybe all. Maybe all. 7 Ultralisks on the way. Good upgrades too. This drop's still going on.
Yeah, let's kill the Queen. It's going to kill a bunch more drones because viOLet apparently doesn't even care for them at all. Losing his entire drone line for no apparent reason, not so good. He's actually focusing, I think, on picking up a few units here and there. INnoVation's now having to siege up on creep on his own watchtower, which is a little ugly to say the least. Now he's going to start to try and clean that up, but we're looking for the Ultra Link composition, which is, you know, the kind of classic Stefano style of dealing with this kind of matchup, and then you can transition out of it into Broodlords where appropriate. The spawning pool is... how many times has the spawning pool died? I think actually viOLet may have forgotten to rebuild it that second time.
I think so too.
When, Apollo? When will they learn to build 2 spawning pools?
Yeah, he can build a bunch of infestors though.
Yes, that's true.
I think that's what he probably will want to do. Actually, he doesn't have enough gas, so I guess not.
Yeah, he's actually banking a huge amount of minerals here, and he can't build anything with it, which is really irritating.
I guess that helps out INnoVation a little bit there, as he's going to have a bit more room. There is a burrowed infestors we can see within the army. Oh no!
Yeah. Could have actually fungled that, but he wouldn't have been able to kill anything, so I guess that's not too bad. But, oh wow, it's just a huge groundswell of these Ultralisks coming in here, and looks like there's enough to break that siege line. Does he really want to go up there? No, he really doesn't, but he's going to go there anyway with a couple of Ultralisks, lose another one in the process, and that actually reduced Bogus' army significantly.
Yeah.
That was a lot of damage that was inflicted by that attack, and the use of the Infestor there to take the siege tank fire as he charged in was ideal. Let's just check if this drop had actually been cleaned up. It's like, yeah, it's done, finally. It is done. The spawning pool is now back up, so it is possible for viOLet to actually build units. There's a free medevac for him. He'll be certainly happy about that. So we need to kind of stabilize and figure out what's going on in this game at the moment, because we've got INnoVation on the 3rd base. His natural is getting close to mined out. His main will be mined out within the next minute or so. Yeah, it's oversaturated.
For the first time in this game.
Yeah, creep's not as close as it should be. There's a couple of burrowed banelings here, so any big rollout could be snuffed out quite quickly if Bogus isn't aware of that. At the moment, viOLet's actually moving to the top here. There's a push from INnoVation coming towards his 4th, but it's not very big.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you know, INnoVation's going to drop in the main and the 3rd, so there's the 3rd.
And there's the main coming in right there.
Coming in there. And
so this cleanup's going to happen.
He's trying to take his own 4th base, so he is, you know, in this game he's going to have 3-3, but without any Marauders in this army composition, 9 Ultralists and a bunch of Ling and Infestors will absolutely destroy the army. The only thing he can hope on is just keep pulling his opponent back and then have a better defensive position set up, but I don't think that's going to matter at the end of the day here.
And viOLet's looking really strong, honestly. These drops are nice, and the amount of workers that's been killed has been astonishingly high. They've been very effective indeed, but drops at the end of the day do not stop this really big, huge sledgehammer coming in. But viOLet's actually moving all the way back to clean that up, but absolutely unnecessary commitment, I feel. That's just silly, because INnoVation's obviously trying to drag him around away from his 4th base, and it's so unlike viOLet to actually fall for that, because now INnoVation's going to move forward with a large siege tank line, go to the 4th base, siege it up, and wreck it.
Yeah, viOLet's defending with too many units now, as you can see on the minimap. It's just his entire army is defending with,
There's
and
no
that's
need.
allowed this position for INnoVation, and that's what I mentioned. He doesn't quite have the best army, but he will have position. But still, I don't think it will be enough. I think viOLet's army will still be able to crush through this. We'll see.
I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? The 4th base has taken significant damage, but it hasn't gone down yet. Siege is in place, out of range of the base.
Look at this 3-way setup.
Oh, this is looking beautiful. Will he be able to make it happen? The Lings try to connect. They've got to get in just a little bit closer than that. They were killing the Vanguard, now coming in from all sides. That is huge. Bogus taking significant damage. Azubu viOLet charging into that siege tank line and absolutely crushing that army very effectively indeed. And suddenly things got very ugly for Bogus. He's about to lose this planetary fortress. Some Ultralists may go down here. Some reinforcements coming in from the right flank as well, but down goes the planetary. There's the fungal, and this is looking really good for viOLet now.
Yeah, viOLet's playing so well at this tournament, like so many others. This is really the tournament to watch right now, as viOLet is beating INnoVation. A drop has come down.
It's going to be another spawning pool kill, but thankfully the Ultralisk is there to make sure that does not happen. Couple of burrowed Banelings there. Oh, if he can bait that army onto those Banelings, that would actually be gorgeous. Yeah. We'll see if he can do it. He kills that. He goes in there again. It's going to force INnoVation to actually roll out, but no, he decides...
Oh, no.
Yeah, he pops them out there. That's kind of surprising. I thought he might try for the trap there. Another drop comes down to attempt a cancellation on what I believe is now the 5th base. Azubu viOLet shuts it down quite nicely here. Scan wasted looking for burrowed Banelings. Doesn't find any. This will be a planetary fortress. And this is a huge army of Ultralists that is going to kill you.
It's going to kill everybody. And that is a very strong army. Remember how this game did unravel? It was a massively failed 2 barracks.
Yeah.
Which gave viOLet the edge. And INnoVation's been playing so well, but he's never been able to get back into the game properly.
Yeah.
viOLet's always had an edge in this game, and we can see it through the Ultralisk count. The 5th base being taken. It looks like another drop at the top left as well. Trying to pull viOLet down, but viOLet is so good at defending these kind of drops.
Yeah, he's moving out. Admittedly, earlier you did accurately point out that he was defending with too much and he was allowing himself to be pulled out of position, but the way that viOLet was actually able to set that up, it didn't really matter one way or the other. And INnoVation is now maxed out. So the question is, what is he maxed out with? He's got a lot of SCVs, like I would say too many for this stage of the game. Yeah. Like usually if you were to watch Bomber at this stage in this matchup, he'd have maybe 3 or 4 more orbitals than this, and he would have sacrificed a lot of SCVs. He'd have a bigger army. He's got mostly Marines. He's got a good bit of beef in the background as regards to Marauders. He doesn't have to prepare for a transition here, so his army's about as good as it could be, I suppose, for this setup.
And I think there's a drop on the 3rd again.
Yep, he's going for it.
It's down there. It's going to maybe pick off a Queen, maybe no.
No, Queen lives, and nicely done there. Bit of an overkill reaction to that, and it's actually... If INnoVation was actually moving now, he'd be able to pick this off, because he's too slow, unfortunately, there. And if he'd gone in immediately, he would have taken that base. But as it stands, no, it's not going to happen. So he's now pushed back to his 4th here, and he's just going to have to sit on this for a while, but he is maxed out. I mean, there's nothing else he can really do. He's got to think about attacking. He's got to think about building more CCs so he can get rid of those SCBs and get a larger army. And viOLet, in the meantime, has an okay-ish bank and can throw a big hammer blow at INnoVation.
I'm surprised that viOLet hasn't got a spy yet to go over to Broodlords.
Yeah.
Because the longer this game goes on, the stronger INnoVation becomes. He's got 3-3. He's got Marauders. Marauders will shred those Ultralists. The tanks will get to the Infestors. And as I actually say that, I think in the corner of my eye, I just saw a Spire coming down. So
yep, it is. There's a drop on the 4th base here as well. Little bit of an engagement. You can take a look at the drop. It does yet more economic damage. 54 workers killed. INnoVation has done an incredible job of damaging the economy of viOLet right now. viOLet is being pulled all over the place, and this is actually starting to scare me now, because viOLet has had positions where he could win, but he's being pulled all over the place by superior control here from INnoVation, who eats a big fungal, loses a tank in the process. But as you said before, these Ultralisks will die very quickly.
Yeah, and for the first time now, INnoVation's starting to come back in the game properly.
Yeah.
He's starting to demand this game is his, as he drops the 3rd again, or the 4th again. as we see, just consistently getting up, getting out there. And this time, it doesn't look like he's going to get out, or maybe he will.
I think he's going to get out there, actually. Yeah, he can happen because he's got to deal with it. And now SCV's being thrown in because he doesn't need them anymore. So that's a bunch of freebies there that he will cleave through. But that means a larger army for INnoVation, who's now got a good amount of supply freed up in order to make that happen. And viOLet can't make contact here. He looks for a weak point. He's not finding it. He's being pulled all over the place.
The scan sees the army going south, so
yeah, so he's going to go north. Yeah, absolutely. So viOLet's going to go for this. He's going to lose a lot of lings trying to take down this planetary fortress. This base is dead. No real question about that. At some point, this base was killed. I'm not sure when that happened. It must have just been a little push. And viOLet overwhelms this, but here's the thing. viOLet needs to engage against this army. Can he do it effectively? Can he crush it? Because if he can, then he can push forward. But right now, that third is going down, and there's no question about that.
INnoVation's playing so well here. The Greatest Fire is on its way. If Brutals can get into this game, the game changes immediately. Yeah. Despite the amount of money that INnoVation has in the bank to deal with Broodlords eventually, he doesn't have the starports down.
viOLet's
he doesn't have anything to deal with it yet. So viOLet's got so many Ultralists, but as long as INnoVation just doesn't mess up positionally, then I think he's always going to be in good shape. And viOLet may be looking to hammer down.
He's got to.
He's got a Bored Infestor, I feel, with the army. There's the Infested Terrans. He's done it.
Can he make it work there? No, he can't. His timing was off, and this is actually getting really bad for viOLet. viOLet has no economy left. He's got no mining bases.
Yeah.
His drone count is really, really low. That Great Aspire is under great threat here if he doesn't shut that down.
He can't rebuild it. There's no way he has the money to rebuild it. He has no money to build Brutals in the first place. He's got 70 minerals in the bank. Without that base on the right-hand side to mine, the connection transition can't be made. Can't be made.
I'm just astonished by INnoVation's play up to this point. This has been perfect. He has been all over the map, really hard to deal with. viOLet's defense was strong to begin with, but it's just been worn down completely. And now INnoVation has the army he needs. The transition cannot happen. The lack of Vikings is irrelevant.
The Bored Infestor sees the army unsieged. This may be viOLet's one chance.
It's his one shot to make this work. He's got to position this correctly. Scan goes down. Small vanguard of units now moving out. They spot the force. They know exactly where it is. Wasted fungal. Last thing you want to do right now. And you know what? I don't think this is going to work out here for viOLet. He's going to be forced back again.
He's got that mining base, though, so he's able to morph 3 Broodlords.
Yeah, that if he does that, that will at least force INnoVation out of position. That's perhaps the most important thing he can do here. And he shouldn't be going forward yet. He needs to wait. He needs to get those Broodlords out, and then he can try and force the army out of position so he can get a favorable engagement. But if he tries to engage here without the Broodlord support, it would be a disaster.
INnoVation's just never caught out of position. He's dropping in the main base of viOLet again. This one eventually will fall down, especially with the Queen in there, but he's never caught unsieged, never. He's always scanning, he always knows where viOLet is at all times. But as I mentioned earlier on, if viOLet was able to get to Broodlords, then he can start to come back in this game.
That went pop again. That's another mining base gone, so viOLet's once again broke. But it comes down to these 6 Broodlords.
Yeah, one big fight for viOLet, that's it. He can't afford a new hatchery.
And it's got to be a good one. It really does.
I guess he can afford it, but he won't really be able to keep it alive for
there's a significant weakness here in INnoVation's army composition. He's more than not prepared for Broodlords. He has overdone the Marauder count to the point where his actual anti-air... Yeah, this is the timing that viOLet's got to go for. He has this window, and he must do damage now. This is the one time where Bogus's army is as weak as it's going to be against this composition. He must make this work. If he doesn't, he is done for in this game. And here come the Ultralisks. He gets the contact, does some damage to the siege tanks, but I'm not liking the engagement so far. He's got to lock those Marines down, got to get the firepower in for the Broodlords. They charge right into an absolute massacre. Huge fungal goes down. Is he going to break it? He actually has made his way through now. He goes to the 4th base, and suddenly things might be looking up here for viOLet, but still, the supply count is not looking great.
Yeah, I mean, right now, 5 Vikings are being made at a time.
Yeah.
He's switched over the reactors to the starports, didn't build new reactors, not wasting time. A squad of units is out there to stop the bases. All the INnoVation needs to do now is go back to his natural, say, screw it. I can't mine, I can't save these locations, I can't keep these starports alive. I'm going to have to just build as many Vikings as I can and then go. The infestor count is low. And I still think INnoVation can do it. He's almost ready to do it.
Yeah, I would certainly say so at this point. The Ultralisk charges to its death, as you can see. Vikings takes some damage from the ground here. Might even lose one, and he does, but trading that for a Broodlord, that's fine. He'll have that, especially since he can have the second one. And viOLet's in a really horrible spot now. His army is absolutely tiny, and the window of time has passed where this would have worked. viOLet's going to go for a final charge, but a GG is imminent by the looks of it. Great Fungals, but that is the GG, and what a ridiculous start to this series. Good lord.
INnoVation is freaking good.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Major, you know, has mentioned him before. He was playing from behind in that game.
Yep.
For the majority of it, until he got to the later stages where he outplayed viOLet, was better with his drops, was faster, was stronger. Wow. That was freaking good to watch.
That was
So
really
impressive.
good play. INnoVation was all over the place all the time and never being caught out of position. Great drops and picking off tech all the time. Impressive stuff, it really, really is. And viOLet looked strong for the majority of that game as well.
Yeah.
But he was eventually worn down by superior play. And, well, viOLet is at great risk of falling down the loser's bracket. If, just bear in mind, as you pointed out, this came from a failed 2-racks. That game came from failed 2-racks.
He didn't build a barracks early on because he got cancelled. That's a failed 2-racks. If you're just tuning in right now, the barracks never even completed. He had to rebuild it.
Was shut down like that.
His command center was so late. His orbital was so late.
He played from behind for about 25 minutes of that game.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're both playing at a parallel rate. So he was always going to stay behind unless something changed. They both played at the same pace. And eventually, INnoVation just hit a different gear and just overtook and just was able to smash through that later game really, really well. And that was super impressive.
It really, really was. Looks like the next map's going to be Metropolis, from what I can tell.
Yep.